I will also put your social media at the bottom of the video. You do have to like send me a copy of that, so
I will send you everything you need. Don't worry.
Okay, you ready?
Yep.
Because we're already recording, but now we're going to officially start.
Woo!
Okay. Alright, so welcome to the Pause and Replay channel. This is our Wednesday edition. On Wednesdays, we will feature a cosplayer every week. Today, we have the lovely Lilith. Guys, go ahead and get your oogling out the way, because I'm going to start asking her questions. So go ahead, oogle all you want before we get started. Alright, so, Lilith, how are you?
I'm pretty good. How are you?
I am good. Okay. So, Lilith, you are a avid cosplayer.
Yes, I am a Bay Area-based cosplayer based in San Jose. I tend to attend most of the Northern California conventions and some of the Southern California conventions. Those are my staple conventions. But I've also been known to travel outside of California because I have guested in a Southern con, and I visited Tennessee earlier this year, and got a little bit of a Southern fam now as well, so that was cool. Still mostly in California, but I love it. Now, so it works out.
Cosplaying in California is like hardcore because you guys have like all of the major conventions in California. I mean, the Comic Cons,
most of them,
the massive anime conventions, everything is in California. Now,
I think the biggest con that we don't have is Dragon Con, which is in Atlanta.
That is true. You guys do not have Dragon Con. Dragon Con is huge. I've never been. But
yeah, I've never been.
Yeah, I want to go. I do want to go. I'm trying to go to OverCon too. Okay, so question for you. Is cosplaying something everyone can do?
So I think that cosplay definitely can be a thing that can be all-inclusive. So kids, adults, older people, as long as you're not irresponsible with it. Like, if you can't afford to pay your bills because you're too busy going to cons or doing cosplay, then you probably shouldn't do it. But I mean, no one's going to tell you really not to do it. They will.
Have you seen that before? Someone who's just like so into it that they've spent all of their money into their cosplays?
Yeah, it's me. Yeah, it's me. Don't be like me.
Well, cosplaying is not something that is it's not cheap if you do it correctly, and that's just an honest statement.
No,
if you're doing it the correct way, it is not cheap. What would you say to encourage someone who wants to get into cosplaying?
I would just tell them to keep their chin up and keep at it, because if cosplaying makes them happy, they should continue doing it, provided that, you know, it's not just a money hole that they're sinking all their life savings into and they can't afford real life.
Now, a lot of people do when they first start cosplaying. It does not turn out the way you want it to look. Is that where you have to push through it at? Because your first cosplay isn't always your best cosplay.
Mine was awesome though, but that's because I had help.
That you had help.
I had a lot of help.
All right, so how would you suggest starting? Like, I know there's a lot of steps to do. Do you draw it out first? Do you go ahead and just start getting materials? How do you suggest starting your own cosplay?
Well, honestly, you could just do what I did. So my first time cosplaying is I bought a cosplay and I commissioned artists for the pieces that I couldn't make myself. And then I just went to a con and the response was overwhelmingly positive, and I just never stopped. So when it comes to starting, like,
that is something that you just said that I don't think a lot of people realize. You said that you bought your first cosplay, but then you commissioned all the other things to make it look the way it's supposed to. People don't understand that a lot of these cosplays you bought offline actually look like Halloween costumes if you do not commission the correct accessories for them. Is it hard to find someone to commission those from, though?
I don't think so. Like, a lot of people say that eBay sellers and AliExpress and Taobao sellers are really cheap and shady, but I've personally never had an issue with any commissioner that I've contacted on any of those sites. So I might just be lucky, because some people have gotten absolute crap in the mail from that, but I've been really lucky. I think like the majority of my cosplays are actually still bought because I have little to no artistic talent. Yeah, I get by on my personality, apparently.
Yes, I noticed the personality. There's definitely a lot of personality there. Um, Now, question: is it okay to cosplay any gender, race, or body type? Because a lot of negative comments come from you cosplaying a character that you do not look like. How did that come across to you?
So I am a firm believer that you should cosplay whatever you want, no matter your body type, gender, race, skin tone. As long as it doesn't hurt anybody, you should cosplay whatever the hell you want. Like I don't understand this gatekeeping where it's, oh, a black person can't cosplay a white character, or a white character can't cosplay a black character. Like it's it's really bizarre to me. Like, as long as they're not doing the stuff where they blackface.
Yeah, because
like
at the end of the day, it's a made up character. It's not like
yeah
it's not like it's
yeah
an actual person. And even if it was an actual person, if you want to be
yeah
Iron Man, go dress as Iron Man. It's okay.
One of the cosplays that I did a couple years ago, I thought I was going to get a little bit of backlash for, but I guess it just kind of slipped under the radar. Is I did Halle Berry's version of Catwoman.
Really?
I did.
I don't
Yeah.
even know
So
where
with
you
the
find that
whip.
at. Where do you even find that? That movie is horrible, but where do you find that costume?
I actually like the movie, but I like bad movies.
Man, that is, I'm sorry, it is probably to me one of the bottom 10 hero movies. But
well,
it has
Halle
moments.
looks
It has its moments.
though.
Now Halle in that costume is a whole other story.
Oh yeah,
That's
yeah. So I saw her in that costume, and I didn't think, oh, I can't cosplay this because I'm not black. I wanted to cosplay it because I wanted to look like Halle, and I wanted to be sexy and confident and awesome looking, and I didn't see race. But yeah, I think as long as somebody isn't being, don't change your skin tone for the costume, but if you appreciate the character and the costume and the work that goes into it, and you identify with this character, I feel like the race of the character shouldn't matter.
This is true. This is very much true.
Yeah. So I think anybody should cosplay whatever they want, no matter what they look like, race, gender. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter to me.
Now, you are definitely about this cosplay and convention life. When did you fall in love with going to conventions and cosplays? Like for me, I went to my first convention was NecoCon, which is here on the East Coast. I know you probably never heard of it, but
never heard of it.
But it was my first one, and the second I went, I was hooked. I was like, I gotta go to all these. So when did you fall in love with conventions and cosplaying?
All right, so you want another fun fact?
Okay, what you got?
You want a fun fact? There was not another fun fact. So, my mother has been going to cons since the 1980s and has been very into. She has been into the nerd scene for my entire life. So I grew up as a Trekkie because my mom she's still a Trekkie, and then she got into Lord of the Rings and Pirates of the Caribbean, and she really likes Star Wars. More on that later. And she would do things like she would take me out of school so we could go to Comic-Cons.
Wow, that's crazy.
So I remember I was in 7th grade and I got a call from the office that my mom was coming to get me, and I thought something bad had happened. And I get to the office and my mother is there, and she says, "Hey, I packed your bags. We're going to San Diego for Comic-Con." And just out of nowhere.
That is so awesome.
And another thing is that I hated it.
You really did? You hate it?
I hated it.
You know what? Comic-Con in the 90s probably wasn't like Comic-Con.
Yeah, like I hated waiting in line because my mom, her big thing is getting autographs. So she has 3 photo books full of autographs from anybody. And I hated waiting in line. I hated heat. I didn't know what a cosplayer was, and I hated just car rides. My mom doesn't like airplanes, so we had to drive.
Oh wow.
But I didn't fall in love with cons until I went to Fanime 2014 in my first cosplay. And it wasn't the con itself, rather it was the community and the attention that made me love it.
Yeah.
Because I had seen people in cosplays, obviously, when I'd gone to cons with my mom, but it didn't really register what it was or why they were doing it. And then I realized I could do that too, and it would be awesome. And so I had my first costume, and I went, and I was like, it is awesome. I love it. So that's how I fell in love.
That is so awesome. You know what? That's called a West Coast thing too, because here on the East Coast, we don't have access to that kind of stuff. So I
really?
mean, well, we have Comic-Con in New York, but Comic-Con in New York, people don't realize, has only been out for about 10 or 12 years. It's not that old. They just started doing that in New York. We've always had conventions here, but access to the amount of conventions that you guys have on the West Coast, no.
Oh yeah, we have so many.
Yeah, there's
many.
It's not even comparable.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Now with cosplaying, how long does it take you to put together a cosplay? Like a legit cosplay, not just order a costume and go, hey, I'm ready. No. How long does it typically take for a cosplay?
Well, each cosplay is a totally different set of skills. So even if I do buy something pre-made, I usually will make something handmade to go along with that. Like if I need a bodysuit, then I'll make the armor. Or if I have the costume, then I'll make the prop. Because shipping that stuff is just a mess. And I can make my own props, so at least there's that. And then I have to budget for the costume, and then I have to find a commissioner that I like. And if I'm making it from completely from scratch, then that is a few months of work, even if it's something simple. Like you can assume that it's a couple months at the very least. Like no, I think my biggest build so far was Exiled Morgana from League of Legends with the moving wings.
Yes.
I think that took total 3 months, which is actually not that bad, considering what it was. The wings moved in and out.
And we do have a picture of that, guys. I have 3 of her cosplays that we are going to get into. So, question about these cosplays, because they are gorgeous. They are beautiful.
Thank you.
Guys, you're seeing them on the screen. I have to look at them on my phone because
I'm not seeing them on the screen. Where are they at?
You can't see them on the screen because we're recording. I can't put
right. I need to see which ones I sent you.
So
which ones did I send you?
Forgive us while we pull these up. You sent me.
I forgot.
Hold on. I'm sorry.
Hold on. I'm going back up. I think I see it.
We cannot look at them on the screen while we're recording. I will have them up for you guys to look while we're recording, but I cannot pull them up. All right, guys. So what you're seeing on the screen right now are 3 of Lilith's cosplays. They are, for lack of a better word, amazing. Now, they're also revealing to an extent. Now, this is where we get into the nitty-gritty of cosplay, and especially as a female, that we have to ask some of these questions. Have you felt insecure about some of these costumes? I mean, some of them do reveal a little bit more. Did it take a little while to get used to showing so many curves or so much skin, or?
So I was never shy about my body. My perspective is that I'm gonna be old and wrinkly one day, so I might as well enjoy not being saggy while I can.
That's short to the point. That is a true answer.
Yeah. So no, I was never insecure about it. Like there's some people who just, they can't do the revealing costumes. My normal wardrobe is also a little bit revealing, but again, it ties into that same mindset. Like I have improved my body over the last year, but I wasn't bad before. And I feel like if this is how I want to look and how I want to portray these characters, then, you know, why not? Why not just enjoy it? You know, I'm not going to look like this forever. I already got to use anti-aging cream. Look at these wrinkles.
Now, that is something that I do know you take pride in. We have talked before. You do go to the gym a lot.
I do, yeah.
Do you feel that it's okay to judge someone's body type when they're cosplaying these characters? Because you do have people who do not fit the body type of this character, but cosplay this character. Is it?
Absolutely not. I would never, ever, ever judge anybody for having a different body type than the character, because, you know, the fact of the matter is that you don't know somebody's story when it comes to their weight. You don't know if they have a health problem. You don't know about their diet. You don't know about their home life. You know, some people are naturally overweight. You know, it's just a thing. And I don't think a person's body type or weight should get in the way of wanting to portray a character that they really like. And it's, you know, it's nobody's business. You know, people's weight is their own personal business. So even if they don't look exactly like the character, I don't feel like that matters. I think that, you know, if they like the character and this is what they want to do, don't judge them. You know, they could be trying to improve, or, you know, maybe they were bigger before, or, you know, like I said, maybe they have a health problem. You know, you don't know why the person looks like that, and it's none of your business.
That's the main reason. Is it's none of your business, man. Just let that person be happy. They put the effort into their cosplay because they want it to look like their character. So do not judge people, man. It is all about allowing someone to express themselves the way they want to express themselves. Now, in regards to these cosplays, because all three of them are absolutely amazing.
Thank you.
How long did it take for... Now, the wings you said took about 2 or 3 months.
Yes.
The others, though, how long did it take you to come up with the concept for the other two? How do you select your characters, I guess?
I select characters based on, well, first I like the design. And if they have like a cool gimmick, I also like that too, like the wings. Yeah. So for Morgana, which is the first one with the wings, well, one, we needed to test out new designs for how to make the wings move, because this has been used before, the moving wings thing. My partner did a cosplay of the same character who also had moving wings like that, but his design for the wings was horrible.
Oh.
And then, yeah, then he had another idea of how to make it easier and controlled via remote control. They were controlled via remote. I had the remote in my hand the whole time.
Wow, that's something you don't see in the picture. You can't tell that in the picture, so that is a cool little...
No, if you actually look really closely, my hand that's up to here, I'm holding it here.
Oh, you know what? You're right. You can't see it.
So I moved my hand like this, and you can't see it.
That is awesome.
And I wanted to do a big attention-getting build, and I feel like nothing gets you more attention than moving wings. Because we're talking like, I think they were 10 feet? Each wing was, I think, 5 feet.
Yeah, judging by this picture, they're easily 8 to 10 feet long.
Yeah, they were really long. And it was this one in particular was something I'd been thinking about for about a year, because I'd never seen this particular cosplay. This is not what the character actually looks like.
Yeah.
I don't know if you play League of Legends, but this character is actually like a purple. She's purple. Mm-hmm. So this is one of her alternate skins that is actually not available anymore. It's before she turned purple. And it's the same color as my bedroom. You can't tell from here because I have a sheet up, but my walls are red and gold.
That is awesome. That is so cool.
Yeah. It was just a thing that I thought about, and it incorporates everything that I've learned about cosplay so far. So there are 3D printed parts, there are resin cast, there's Warbla, sewing, the animatronics, like there's prosthetics, you know, my ears, they're elf ears.
I hope you guys are hearing all the work that she put into
it. It was a lot of work.
Like that. Do you hear all the work she's talking about? Like I said,
and I'm proud to say that cosplay is 100% handmade. Nothing was bought.
Oh, see, that makes that even cooler.
Yeah, nothing was bought.
There's nothing wrong with buying cosplays. Like she said, it's cool to buy them. There's nothing wrong with that. But knowing that she made it from scratch made it even more impressive.
Yeah. And
then you have, is this Psylocke?
That is Psylocke, yes.
Okay. I love X-Men. So I do love Psylocke. This Psylocke is really good though. Did you do the wig yourself, or did you buy the wig, or?
I bought the wig, so it is a black and purple ombre. And before you get too excited, I borrowed this cosplay from a friend.
That's awesome. Hey.
I made the sword though.
You did not borrow how good you look in it. It's okay.
Thank you. Thank you. So that was when I had to wear a corset. The corset in there.
How is that? Because I've had a friend who's cosplayed using a corset, and she almost died. Like she
really, I'm pretty used to
breathe in the thing after a while because they're so tight.
I think that's too tight. Like mine was never too tight. It was just enough.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And the top one, is that from Sonic? Is that?
Yes, that is Rouge.
Okay, so see, guys, I do know my nerd stuff to an extent. I might not know the character name, but I know my nerd stuff. So, so what made you do Rouge? Because that is not something that you just do. That's not a mainstream cosplay at all.
So I have grown up with Sonic. The very first video game that I ever played in my entire life was Sonic 1 for the Genesis. And I continued being a fan up until I was around, you know, even now I still play the games from time to time. But I played Sonic Adventure 2 when it came out because I had a Dreamcast. I still have a Dreamcast. It's sitting over there.
For all you young viewers, the Dreamcast was the shit when it came out. Like,
it was really good.
It really was.
It was really and that was the game that Rouge debuted in, and I loved everything about it. I loved her personality. I loved how snarky she was. I loved that she played both sides. So when I started cosplaying, I wanted to create a concept for a human version of Rouge. And this was one of the first things that I made completely by myself. You can tell because the breastplate is just made out of craft foam.
Oh, so you know what? And I do. I see that.
Yeah. So if I remade it now, it would be made out of Warbler and it would actually have a shape. But I showed this one to, I guess, showcase my progress because this is absolutely not how I would go about things. But well, I also really like it.
The fact that I can recognize who the character is the important. Guys, cosplaying is all about people recognizing who your character is. It is very important to a cosplayer that you know who they're cosplaying. Mm-hmm. And if you do not, then at least ask. Don't just assume.
Yeah.
Don't walk up to a girl dressed as Lucy and calls her Urza. It's not cool. It is not.
Oh,
cool.
No.
It's not. So don't do that. Man, so how sexy, how and powerful do you feel when you cosplay these characters? Because these aren't just run-of-the-mill pretty girls. These are like strong, powerful women in these cosplays.
Well, when it comes to feeling sexy, it also depends on the cosplay. Like if it's a fan service cosplay, then of course it's something I want to portray that character as sexy. Like if it's something like, Rouge is known canonly, even in the Sonic game, for using her sex appeal to get what she wants.
She is.
So, yeah. But if it's something a bit more innocent, then not really. Like, for an example, I did a cosplay a couple weeks ago of Miraculous Ladybug, which is a TV show aimed toward kids.
I saw that.
And I'm not trying at all to be or feel sexy in the cosplay because I want to appeal to kids as well as adults for some of my cosplays. If the character is sexy, though, then yeah, I'm gonna portray that. But if I'm interacting with like almost exclusively kids, then I'm gonna tone it down a little bit.
Guys, check out her Miraculous Ladybug. We'll have her Instagram up here and stuff so you can follow her and check her out. I have seen that cosplay. It was cool.
Thank you.
And your partner was Cat Noir?
Yes.
See, I told you guys I'm a nerd. I know these things, okay? So, so how do you handle the attention from these cosplays? Because sometimes they are a bit revealing. Sometimes they're very high class. So how do you handle the attention of someone coming up to you and either complimenting your cosplay or saying something that they shouldn't say about your cosplay?
I just smile and say thank you, unless they're being really crude and gross, then I may get away from them. But I'm actually really lucky, I think, that I've had very minimal interaction or situations with creepers at cons. I actually don't get approached like that, ever. The first con I went to, a guy I didn't know slapped my butt, which is really weird because I was dressed as a guy. I've never got
weird. Yeah.
Yeah. The very first cosplay I ever did was Ezreal from League of Legends, which is a male character.
Okay.
I wasn't gender bending it. I was a male Ezreal. And yeah, this guy, like, he grabbed my butt and he tried to kiss me. And I don't know if he knew. I don't know what was with that. It was bizarre.
That is really weird.
Yeah, but that's pretty much the only.
If you're a guy and you like a guy, cool, whatever. Your girl like a girl, whatever. But it's just weird that someone would randomly slap your butt and try to kiss you like that.
Yeah, it was weird. But I didn't. I thought it was kind of hilarious. I mean, not to undermine sexual harassment. It is a very serious issue. But I mean, I kind of was just like, what?
So have you ever had to tell someone to, hey, look, you need to go away, stop staring at me, or stop talking to me like this, or do you just like smile and walk away?
I just smile and walk away. As I said before previously, I've never had really anything like that happen. You know, I've been very grateful to be in the presence of mostly respectful people who approach me at cons. There's always the occasional socially awkward person who might be a little weird, but I just smile and wave, hey, take your picture and go. You know, if they try to stay too long, I just say, hey, I have to go somewhere. But no one has been flat out disrespectful. Like, they don't come up and be like, hey, look, your tits are out, you big hoe, and you know, nothing like that.
Guys, contrary to popular belief, conventions are not just people showing off skin and then getting hit on like crazy. A lot of conventions, people go there and they not only appreciate the shows, the manga, the books, whatever they're there for. Everyone actually appreciates the work these cosplayers put into their craft. We actually go to see their cosplays, to show, like, I guess there's a level of respect. Like, hey, man, you put a lot of work into that. That's cool as hell. Shout out to you for doing that. There's a lot of that instead of, like, the other part where it's just, hey, let me see that ass. No, it's not like that. It's not.
To be fair, though, that does happen. No, it does.
It does.
Just not, I just haven't personally experienced it. Like, I've been complimented. I can't remember anything that was too crude that made me uncomfortable, but I've been said, like, oh, you look hot, or you look sexy, or hey, you know, you did good work on this costume, but nothing like bad. But I know some people have had really bad experiences, you know, with creepers at conventions. They've been like legitimately sexually harassed or stalked, and that is horrible.
If you are at a convention, there is always a group of security there, or there's always a group of leadership there that you can go to. If someone is harassing you, please go to them and report that. They will actually remove that person from the convention entirely. So if you run into that situation, you feel uncomfortable, please tell someone. Okay? It is not cool. Everyone's there to
so I'm very grateful that it's never happened to me, but I know that it does happen.
Now, what's the strangest thing someone's ever said to you?
Oh boy, are you ready? I think I may have to send this on Discord.
Wow.
Because
really?
Okay. Yep. All right. So I am about to send you something on Discord. So get ready to pull it up. The names have been blocked out for privacy.
Hold on.
But guys, somebody sent this to me on my cosplay page.
Okay, where is the message? Sorry, guys.
I sent it on Discord.
You sent it on Discord?
Yeah.
Oh, there it is. One new message. Okay. Sorry, guys. I don't use Discord.
It's okay.
Oh, you know what? My Facebook isn't logged in, so I can't pull it up. So you're gonna have to give us the overall outlook of this.
Hold on. Let's see here. Let's see.
Oh no, I got it actually.
Oh, you got it?
Wow, yeah.
Okay.
It's okay with you to masturbate on one of your photos. Wow, really? That is guys, I hope you see that.
So what I'm assuming this man was going to do is he is one of those people that was going to print the photo out and then do stuff on it and then send me a photo of the results, because there are people who do that.
Okay.
He said on.
Guys, that's creepy. That's beyond creepy. That's creepy, weird, it's offensive. For lack of a better word, you're a dick. Don't do that. Don't.
Yeah.
It's just wrong.
So that's probably the weirdest thing that's ever been said about my costumes, because why would anybody do that, and why would anybody think I want to see that?
Yeah, like God, that's stalkerish. Don't do that. Just don't.
Yeah, it was weird.
Oh man, what a way to answer that question.
I told you I was prepared, right?
You were
I was
prepared.
ready.
She said, "I have something that I'll show you when we do their interview."
Yeah.
How have you handled negative feedback? Now, I've had discussions with you before about something that someone said, and you did handle it very well. But how, I want others to know, in case they run into negative feedback, how have you handled negative feedback?
So I'm going to be honest, I kind of don't handle it very well. Well, I do sometimes, but this last instance of negative feedback kind of really stung. So it's a lot. I know that it's a lot of bullies being uncreative and going for like the first thing that they see that's like superficial, because they don't care or try to think about anything else. But I was recently in another viral video where I created a costume, or rather where I wore a costume for it. And the only comments were like, "Oh, you're too fat to fit in this costume." And as somebody who has lost a substantial amount of weight over the last year, I was still confused by it, because it's like,
yeah,
why are you still doing this?
So the costume, guys, I have seen this costume. I did see what she was talking about. The character, this is why we talked about some of the characters. The character that she portrayed is basically as flat as a board and is like pencil thin. It is not a 3D character at all. It is 2D. It is completely flat though. Lilith, as you can see, has curves. It's not her fault. She's a woman. She's pretty. She has curves. It is what it is. Now, someone disrespected her because she had curves. They wanted the character to be flat. Lilith had curves, and they couldn't get over it.
Yeah, it's bizarre. It was weird, because I'm not going to deny that last year and for some of this year, I was still a little overweight. So that was the truth. But it was weird that was like the only thing that they focused on. Like, what I was still a little heavier when I was in another video this year where I showcased my wings that moved. And the only thing that people commented was like, "Fat Morgana." And I was like, what about the wings move?
Wait, on this Morgana picture?
Yeah.
I can see your ab lines. What are you talking about?
Well, I don't have abs.
I mean, it's not a six-pack. An ab line is where you see the outside lines of where it's supposed to be.
So the thing about that, and it might be, the thing about that, and it might be considered a little bit of a cop-out, is so I bloat a lot. So we were supposed to film a video before dinner of that costume, and then we ended up filming it immediately after. So I just had like a bunch of pizza, and I bloated up really well. I was already bigger back then too, but I bloated up, and then we filmed the video, and there was a few unflattering shots, and it was just weird though, because that was like the only thing that some people focused on. There were compliments, and I appreciate every one of them, but like, if somebody puts that much work into a costume and you can literally only call them fat, like, what are you trying to do?
That's the sad part. Okay, so that is the dark side of cosplaying, guys. Like, there is a lot of really good compliments. There are a lot of good feelings that come from cosplaying, but you do have those negative people who will talk about what you're wearing, who will say that your body or texture style doesn't fit what you're wearing, and you have to be able to separate the two. You have to keep going. You have to know that, yeah, there are negative people, but they're not putting your cosplay together. You are. You're putting your cosplay together. You got dressed up to look good for you. To hell with them. Fuck them.
Yeah.
Don't worry about them.
Yeah, and I mean, like, the joke is on them because I'm actively working to give myself a healthier life. I've lost almost 20 pounds, so they can just suck on it.
Right? Shout out to Lilith. I'm in the gym too. I'll be there
Yeah,
later. Okay.
yeah.
I'll be there
So
later
almost
today.
20 pounds.
Yeah.
I'm pretty proud of myself. Like, there's a substantial difference between the cosplays that I did last year and the ones that I did like over the
And
last month
as you guys
because
can see from these 3 pictures, there's absolutely nothing wrong with Lilith before. Now Lilith has taken pride in transforming her body more, so all kudos to Lilith. But there was absolutely nothing wrong with
there's
Lilith
nothing
before.
there.
Okay,
There's nothing there.
the muscle line.
There's nothing there. No, I'm not doing well. I want to try to pull myself up on like the bars
Oh,
eventually.
the pull-up bars. I can do
Yeah,
that now.
in
When
two
I
weeks
first started
still.
working out, I couldn't do it because you guys look at some of my. Oh well, this is a whole new channel. You can't look at my old videos, but I couldn't do it at first. I'm good now though. But,
Yeah,
God, we're almost done. It sucks. But hey, 2 big
it's
questions.
okay.
If you could cosplay as any character, anyone, you had unlimited budget, what
hmm
character would that be?
See, this is a hard one because I don't know. Like I've done all my dream cosplays. Now it's just what do I do next, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know. I really seriously don't know. I think maybe I would do Midnight Ari from League of Legends with giant tails. Like she has 9 of them, like giant
Oh,
tails.
okay. Those
Like
are hard to
and making
make.
those tails would cost a substantial amount of money anyway. But like I don't know. I feel like I should do something cooler because it's essentially, just
What's
fabric. But I
You
don't know
know, it's
yet.
great. You say just fabric, but if we have all out budget, you can make animatronic tails. You can make them soft and furry, and you'll have 9 of them. Like it's a lot. It's not like
Yeah.
it's a lot more into that costume than it sounds like. It's
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
lot. Now, big, big, big question for you though. Oh, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. It sounded like you were getting ready to say something else. What did you
I
got?
don't remember what I was gonna say. I don't remember.
Big question for you though. Are you trying to get into cosplay professionally? Like as you can see, we started this show. Me and Lina, check us out Monday and Friday at 4 p.m. on YouTube. Pause and replay, guys. Pause and replay. But are you trying to get into cosplaying professionally? Is that where you want to get to?
So I would definitely like to, but I'm also not shy about the fact that I don't make a lot of my own stuff. Like, I still commission a lot and buy a lot, and I have a lot of help. So I don't think I'd ever become legitimately professional in a craftsmanship aspect. Um, I think honestly, I'm as well known as I am, and I say that loosely because nobody really knows me outside of my own community, but it's because of my personality and my incessant involvement with the Northern California cosplay community and League of Legends because I just will not let it die. Like, not a lot of people cosplay League like they did a few years ago, and I keep cosplaying League. I won't let it go.
Hey, somebody has to keep it alive. No, I do
Yeah,
understand what you're
somebody.
saying. Now, if you do get into cosplaying professionally, it can be lucrative. You have
Yeah.
cosplayers who are literally they just wear what other people commission.
hmm
So you can get into it really big, but it's just like she said, guys. Sometimes it takes a while. Sometimes you have to figure out exactly, hey, do I want to be more of the artistic side and make it myself, or am I okay with being someone's model? That's
Yes.
really
I'm
where
okay with both. I can be a cos model. They're called cos models, apparently. News to me.
there's a term for this.
There's
There's
a term for this. Yeah.
I thought it was just professional cosplayer. There's cosmodel.
Cos model, I think, is more for people who don't make their own stuff.
Oh,
So
I got
I
you.
I would be a cos model.
I got you. That
I
makes
think
sense.
that's what it says on my profile. I think.
Guys, this has been an amazing interview. As you can tell with Lilith, look at that smile. Um, she was awesome today. Thank you guys for tuning in. Please follow Lilith on all her social media. We will have
I
them
have
posted.
so many.
Look, she has lots and lots, and right now they just look like hieroglyphics. So we will
Uh-oh.
actually have them listed below in the video description for you guys to check out. Also, please continue to check out the Pause and Replay channel. Again, we will drop videos Monday and Friday for the show, and on every Wednesday we will do a video with a cosplayer. Thank you, Lilith. so very much. Yes, you have to have something to drink because we've been talking a long time. I had no idea.
I had to get up early for you, Mr. East Coast.
Okay, so guys, a lot of you guys need to understand that I am working with people who are on the West Coast for my show. My co-host lives on the West Coast. A lot of people I will interview live on the West Coast. So there is a time difference that is legit. So if you see sunlight in the background for me, that means it's early for them. Okay?
Yeah.
Now, if you see some darkness behind me one night, then that means it may be 1 o'clock in the morning when I'm working with someone. And that's just real because it's that 3-hour time difference. It's legit. Thank you, Lilith, for being the very first cosplayer to be interviewed.
Woo! I'm cool.
All right. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. See you guys in the next video.